Hey guys, welcome to this episode at Project Nine Oaks. We're going to be working on taking some measurements for the old axles on the camper. I have these original axles. These are kind of the old style trailer axles from back in the 70s really. So they don't make these axles anymore. These are kind of a vintage style, and it's going to be difficult to get parts for them. You know, if I'm broken down somewhere in the middle of nowhere, it's going to be hard to do that. So I had taken this to a shop to see if they can just redo it and you know, kind of get them up to speed, and so I can have peace of mind driving down the road. But after talking with them, I think it's better to go ahead and get new axles, just totally replace them. What I found out though is that these axle width, when you measure hub face to hub face, they are 77.5 inches, which is a kind of an odd number nowadays. So the new standard, I can get 78 inches, but I'd have to get it ordered, you know, it's not so much off the shelf. Or 79-inch wide axles are more off the shelf size. So being 77.5 to 79, that would push out, you know, make the stance a little wider on the camper. And I'm not sure if the wheel here is going to fit, you know, kind of in that body wheel well. So today, I've taken these axles off obviously, and now I got to put them back on, at least one of them, put them back on temporarily, check it out, put the wheel on there, and then see what kind of room I have on each side. So we're going to be doing that today, mounting these back on, taking measurements, and then you know, you can see that process. So hopefully this will help you out so you don't have to do what I did and have to take axles off twice. So anyway, let's get started. All right, so I've got the axles mounted and, well, you know, resting on here temporarily. The leaf springs had this little stud that sticks up in the center, and the axles have this like kind of axle seat that sits on that leaf spring, and it has a hole in that little saddle, that little seat thing, and it fits over top of that stud. So that's how you know it's set in there, you know, left to right, you know, where it needs to be. And so, the center to center on those kind of axle seats are 59.25, I believe it was, for my axle, which is another kind of odd dimension. That's not as critical because you can cut those off and weld them at whatever width you need. But in my case, I'll be getting that shop to do that likely. So right now I got the wheel in here. The axle's a little low because it doesn't have the other leaf spring in there to bring this one up. But let me get this in here. I'm not really gonna like screw it in or anything. I'm just gonna like rest it up against the rim. Let's measure this. All right, I've got about 3.5 inches. So 3.5 inches from the outside of the wheel to the inside of the body here, and so that's pretty good. If I eat into that 3/4 of an inch, that's not going to be a whole lot, you know. It'll be what, 2 3/4 inches, and so that's still a pretty decent little gap there. It's probably enough that I could, likely, because your studs stick out the front of the axle, you have to have, you know, probably a good 2 inches for you to pull off the lug nuts, the wheel, so you don't you don't like run into the body when you're changing your tires. That'll be kind of tight, I think, but likely doable. So it has 3.5 inches on this side, and I think that's pretty good. All right, thanks for sticking around for this short video. I hope this helps you out in your search for new axles for your replacements for these vintage style axles. You need to get the dimensions of the hub face dimension, you know, the axle seats, you know, the dimension of that where it sits on your leaf springs. And also a good one to get is your, you know, the diameter of your wheel, and use all that to determine, you know, what kind of new axle you'll need. And hopefully this helps you out. In my measurements here, I'm able to go with that 79-inch wide axle, and so we'll get that ordered, and I'll get that put on here, and I'll bring you in on that another video. So anyway, appreciate you sticking around for this one. If you would check out my other videos on this channel for this camper, and I'll see you on the next one.